Hi guys, welcome to this new video on Elden Ring. Today we are going to see the best weapons, but this time for the Faith build. As always and as in every video of this type, I remind you that the weapons shown do not follow any ranking. Obviously, I will not show all the weapons of Faith that exist within the game. Therefore, I will only show you the 6 weapons that in my opinion are the best for use in a Faith build. If you don't agree with me, I can tell you that I choose weapons following my personal tastes as well as looking at the statistics and abilities of the weapons overall, so if in your opinion there are weapons that deserve to be in this video, let me know in the comments and we'll talk about it together. I also remind you that the new Elden Ring Night Rain was announced at the Game Awards 2024. I imagine that now we will all be hyped by the news and we can't wait to be able to play it, hopefully soon. Having made this little premise, we can proceed with the video. Let's go and start immediately with the first weapon. Weapon number 1. Winged Scythe is a Reaper in Elden Ring. The Winged Scythe scales primarily with dexterity, strength, and faith and is a good weapon for dealing and protecting from holy damage. Although when it comes to physical damage, most other weapons are superior. His skill is Angel's Wings is a unique skill found on the Winged Scythe. Jump and imbue the winged blade of the armament with light, then deliver a slashing attack on the enemy. The white wings impede recovery actions using a Flask of Tears. This weapon ignores 40% damage denial from blocks. Heavy and charged attacks ignore more. Despite this, is great early game weapon for faith and dexterity builds. The Winged Scythe weapon can be found at Tombsword Ruins. In the center of the ruins, there is a set of stairs leading underground into a dark hall with a door to a small room at the end. The scythe is inside a chest in the small room. Weapon number 2, Black Knife, is a dagger in Elden Ring. The Black Knife scales primarily with faith and dexterity and is a good weapon for dealing additional holy damage and for its unique skill, Blade of Death, that allows the user to fire an additional projectile and apply a powerful dot effect. This also has a unique feature that reduces enemy max HP for a limited time. While this weapon is primarily designed with Dex Faith builds in mind, the Blade of Death projectile's damage is only affected by Faith scaling, meaning that a Strength Faith build utilizing Malekith's Black Blade or the Black Blade incantation can still benefit from this weapon solely for the weapon skill alone. As you can see from the clips, the Black Knife can be played in either hand, but obviously you will need 2 Black Knives, or you can use a sigil and combine melee and ranged attacks with Faith spells. The Black Knife weapon can be dropped after defeating the Black Knife Assassin at the entrance of Sainted Hero's Grave in Altus Plateau. This boss is directly west of the Rampart Side Path site. Weapon number 3, Sword of Night and Flame, is a straight sword in Elden Ring. The Sword of Night and Flame scales primarily with strength, dexterity, intelligence, and faith and has a powerful unique skill, Night and Flame Stance, which allows the user to hold the sword level and follow up with a normal attack to cast a Comet Azure sorcery or a strong attack to sweep forward with a burst of flame causing fire damage. The power of these attacks can be increased with Relana's cameo. As with the other weapons, you can also equip a seal with this one to be able to alternate between melee and ranged attacks. The Comet L2 plus or 1 weapon skill does not count as a sorcery but does inflict magic damage. Its damage is affected by the int portion of the weapon scaling and weapon level. The Night Beam is also buffed by the Spellblade set. The Flame Burst L2 plus R2 weapon skill is affected by the F portion of the weapon scaling and weapon level. Although damage from the 2 weapon art attacks scale with int or F, they do so at a relatively low level and are still very effective even at minimum stat requirements. The Sword of Night and Flame weapon can be found in Caria Manor in a locked room behind the gardens in the east side of the manor. Weapon number 4, Magma Blade, is a curved sword in Elden Ring. The Magma Blade scales primarily with strength and faith, with reduced scaling in dexterity, and is a good weapon for characters who prioritize strength and want to deal additional fire damage while benefiting from the swift curved sword move set. This weapon is most often used on a pure strength build with just enough faith to use it. However, another devastating strategy is to prioritize faith and make liberal use of the ranged lava in the weapon artwork. To power up his magma attacks can add Talisman of Dread, which increases the power of magma spells and abilities by 15%. As mentioned above, if you want you can use 2 magma blades or a sigil for faith spells. The magma blade weapon can be dropped from man serpent enemies wielding the orange glowing magma blade at Volcano Manor. 2 of the serpents can be easily accessed by going up the wooden elevator outside of the building to the north of the Temple of Egle site of Grace. 1 enemy down the hallway, the other through the first archway to the right. Weapon number 5. Godslayer's Greatsword is a colossal sword in Elden Ring. The Godslayer's Greatsword scales primarily with dexterity and faith, with mediocre scaling in strength, and is a good weapon for inflicting fire-based damage. This weapon is one of my favorites in the entire game. I spent many hours inside Elden Ring using this fantastic weapon. Furthermore, the Godslayer Greatsword, thanks to its unique moveset, can create real combos in PvP ghosts and NPCs. You will have to be unlocked and aim freely to get these combos. This weapon can also be used in combo with a seal, or it can be wielded with 2 hands for even more powerful attacks, and if you want you can also use the 2-handed sword talisman. The Godslayer's Greatsword weapon can be found at the Divine Tower of Sealed, found in a chest behind the Godskin Apostle boss arena after defeating him. Weapon number 6. Blasphemous Blade is a great sword in Elden Ring. The Blasphemous Blade scales primarily with strength, dexterity, and faith, and is a weapon that deals additional fire damage. As of patch 1.09, the scaling values of this weapon have been changed. Also, the speed, range, cooldown, and guard response speed of greatsword weapons have increased, especially after the DLC. If you use this weapon with Dread Talisman, the attacks will be much more powerful. For me, this is one of the best weapons in the game, as it is very useful against waves of enemies and boss fights. If used well and with the correct build, this weapon can make you immortal, as it allows you to heal 4% of your maximum HP plus 40 net HP for each death of an enemy while restrained, regardless of whether this sword killed him or not. This effect does not stack with power stancing. The Blasphemous Blade weapon can be obtained after trading Remembrance of the Blasphemous with Enia at the Round Table Hold. You can get the memory as a reward after defeating Rickert, Lord of Blasphemy, on Mount Gelmir or Volcano Manor if you prefer. And with the Blasphemous Blade we concluded the video. These are my favorite weapons for a faith build. Thanks for staying up to this point and watching the video. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe for more content.
Don't forget to subscribe.